Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5:30, and I will call this regular meeting of the Burnsville City Council to order. The city clerk would note that all council members are present. We're still in the pandemic environment, and our meetings are held remotely and also in person. But we'll begin our meetings with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As I mentioned, our meeting tonight is being conducted in person and also remotely. Our city council members are all present here, and we have staff present in the council chambers as well. Members of the public may attend in person if they like. They may also watch this meeting online at burnsvillemn.gov/meetings or Comcast channel 16 or 859. If you would like to participate during the meeting remotely, you may join online at zoom.us/join or call in at 651-372-8299. Callers will need to dial 9 to raise their hand to speak and dial *6 to unmute when we open a time for comments. More information is available on our meeting's webpage and in the council agenda packet. The next item on the agenda is announcements and one proclamation. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Regular council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, December 8th at 5:30 p.m. Our Tuesday, December 22nd meeting is canceled. Work sessions are scheduled for Tuesday, November 24th at 5:30 p.m. and Tuesday, December 15th at 5:30 p.m. All meetings will be held in the council chambers unless we make some changes. We also have special work sessions scheduled, and this is to interview candidates for the Black Dog Water Management Organization. And so we're interviewing candidates. And that is on Monday, November 23rd at 5 p.m. We also are scheduling an inclusion and belonging council meeting, number 4, in the council chambers on Monday, November 30th at 9:30 a.m. The 5th session for inclusion and belonging will be in Dakota A, Monday, December 7th at 3:30 p.m. And inclusion and belonging, number 6, will be in the council chambers Monday, December 14th at 9 a.m. We have one proclamation, and this is for Small Business Week, the Small Business Saturday, excuse me. Whereas according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, there are over 30 million small businesses in the United States, and they are responsible for 64.9% of net new jobs created from 2000 to 2018. And whereas small businesses employ 47.3% of the employees in the private sector and 58.9 million employees. And whereas 96% of consumers who plan to shop on Small Business Saturday said the day inspires them to go to small, independently owned retailers or restaurants that they have not been to before or would not have otherwise tried. And whereas 92% of companies planning promotions on Small Business Saturday said the day helps their businesses stand out during the busy holiday shopping season. And whereas the City of Burnsville supports and celebrates our local small businesses that create jobs and boost our local economy. And now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim November 28, 2020 as Small Business Saturday and urge all of my fellow citizens to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year. Proclaim this 17th day of November 2020. The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for anyone who would like to address the council to raise their hands, call in, and it's an opportunity to address the council on an item that is not on the printed agenda and not in application form that will be coming before us at a future date. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council? Anyone in queue? Okay. Seeing no one, we will move on. The next item is for emergency items only, and this is additions to the final agenda. Ms. Mesco-Lee, are there any emergency items to come before the body?
Madam Mayor, I request that we provide a COVID-19 response update under the regular agenda, please.
Okay. May I have a motion to add the COVID-19 response? There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Member of the council, do you have an emergency item? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a group of items that's considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. However, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for a separate discussion and vote. Is there anyone who wishes an item on a consent agenda to be removed for a separate discussion and vote?
I have a point of inquiry.
Okay, I'll get to that. Ms. Mesco-Lee?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, and point of inquiry, Councilmember Schultz?
Can I ask a question about an agenda item for clarification, without pulling it?
That is permissible. And what?
My question is on 4K.
Okay.
After the study is complete, will this come back to the council for vote for adoption, or is it considered adoption upon completion?
Madam Mayor and Council, we would anticipate bringing it back before the council.
Thank you. I do have no items to pull.
Okay, may I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda, please?
Move to approve.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Workman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. We are now at the regular agenda. Ms. Mesco-Lee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. As you are no doubt aware, we've been watching the numbers for COVID-19, and I provided an update to the council yesterday, just what we are looking at from a staff perspective and how it may impact our operations. We are, just a reminder, we are open to the public, full service. Again, we have returned to in-person council meetings, of course, but we also have had a number of staff continue to work remotely. We have explored some different opportunities to provide service to the community, all with the goal of providing seamless service during this pandemic. As we watch the numbers rise, I thought it would be helpful for the council to provide some direction about upcoming council meetings and commission meetings, and whether there's a desire to continue the format as is, perhaps consider a different format such as a all remote option or a hybrid option. So I'm just looking for a little feedback and discussion from the council, given the numbers and what we're seeing regarding the virus. So happy to answer any questions.
Ms. Mesco-Lee, have we had staff infected with the virus?
We have had some staff infected with the virus. We also have had staff that have been on quarantine as a result of potential exposure.
Have you heard from some of your colleagues and how they have handled this new surge within the metro area?
Sure, Madam Mayor and Council, I think everybody is having similar conversations. We have some of our colleague cities that haven't yet returned. They're still doing virtual meetings or distant meetings. And we have, I would say about maybe a third of those. And then we've got about 2/3 that have returned into a similar format that we've done, or they've even had the hybrid option. So I think many communities are having similar discussions as far as the impact of operations and the continuity of operations as we get into snow plowing season and quarantines and exposures. So,
Any other questions? I'm going to go with Councilmember Schultz first, and then I think Councilmember Gustafson, Councilmember Schultz.
As far as city council meetings or commission meetings or anything like that, my thought is we need to be as accessible as possible, and but yet still be respectful of everyone being able to make an individual choice regarding their health. So I think having in person as the default, but of course, anyone at any time, whether that's staff, city council members, mayor, if you feel that your personal decision is that you should stick closer to home, we should be very respectful of that and be very open to facilitating that. But my view is that we need to be as accessible as possible to our residents. So that's my thought on that. So whether you consider that hybrid or not, I'm not sure. But I mean, we've already, during this time, we've had times where one of us has called in remotely. So I don't see a problem with that at all.
Okay. Councilmember Gustafson and then Councilmember Keeley.
I agree, we do need to be accessible, and I think we are, whether we're sitting here in the chamber or answering emails or telephones or text messages. I think the public does know how to contact us. In light of what's been going on and the numbers that's happening and bringing our staff in here for meetings and that, I think it would be best if we went back to the Zoom meetings until we kind of get this whole spike somehow mitigated again, get people on board and kind of get the numbers down. I don't see the numbers going anywhere but up right now, and so in my estimation, we should be going to Zoom meetings until further notice.
Okay. Councilmember Keeley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think we do an outstanding job here at City Hall. Certainly for us, we're all very spread out. Staff is very spread out. I mean, I think we actually do a better job than retail stores, who are doing a great job of keeping people apart. And stores have been very busy. Everyone's got a mask on. Retail was recently allowed to go 100% by the governor because of those protections. I think we've put in equally good protections. My only concern is not for us per se, but for the staff. Like, I can't imagine, we get a snow event and we have so many people who are out because of quarantining, because of exposure, even though they're not testing positive, they're just out because of the protocols, that it hampers our ability to respond to snow events. So I'm more concerned about just ensuring that the city staff stays as healthy as possible with distance, and if they can work from home, I think that's a great idea. For us, I could go either way, but I'm happy to come here because I think we've just look how far apart everyone is. We've fully utilized the entire space in here to separate ourselves and from staff and everything, so I think we do a good job. And as City Manager Lee pointed out when we were speaking earlier today at our 101, we can't control what people do at home, when they're not in City Hall. We can't control what they do here, and we can also control maybe the amount of people who are working close proximity here by having some work distance. So my concern is really more just ensuring that we have city staff to carry out the functions, especially in the winter when those functions are dictated by nature and not by us. But as far as us, I'll still come in here. And I appreciate, I would agree, if Councilmember Gustafson wants to be on the screen instead of sitting next to me giving me candy, I'm okay with that. And if the rest of us want to come in, and some of us want to be here and some of us want to do it remotely, given the circumstances, I think we have that flexibility and we should use it wherever necessary.
Okay. Councilmember Workman.
Thank you. I'm really impartial to either. Selfishly, I like coming here and hanging out with you guys because I have fun here as opposed to at my desk. But, if we have a meeting where we think there's going to be a lot of members of the public here, maybe we should be ready to shift to mitigate, some crowding out in the lobby. So I may be more impartial to just kind of going on a meeting by meeting basis based on how busy or how full this room could potentially get. And then if we think it's going to be busy, maybe we react that way. But I'm not overly passionate one way or the other than my desire to just be here with people versus sitting alone at my desk. So I go along with the majority. And it sounds like everybody's comfortable continuing to come.
Or even a hybrid, I suppose.
Or a hybrid, yeah.
Respecting Councilmember
Of course.
Gustafson.
I mean, I don't
Go hybrid if you want, which
have
is
any
perfectly
issues.
fine.
Absolutely.
One of us didn't.
Okay, there's consensus that we just continue with what we're doing now and we go hybrid. if council members choose. For me, Ms. Muscoli, it's looking at our priorities. I want to make sure our staff is healthy and safe, and because we need them. And I think you and I had talked about what happened in Maple Grove and Osseo, Orinoco, where one municipality is taking care of all of the services, public work services, because their staff is all down and quarantined. I don't want that to happen here.
It's bad.
We have too many streets. We're a city that's on a hill. People expect the streets to be plowed and snow removed. So I want to just make sure that our staff is protected, and because that's one of our priorities. We all agreed that the priorities is safety and the health of our community and our staff. And we want to make sure that we balance aligning the health and the business needs of our community. So right now, we need our staff to be healthy to provide the services for the community. So I also hope that we're adaptable, that when things happen, because we said that we would be adaptive, that we make decisions and pivot and make sure everybody is safe. One of the things we agreed on is that we need to be kind and respectful, and I heard that tonight, so let's make sure we do that. And most of the time, and importantly, we need to communicate with our citizens and our businesses what's going on. So for right now, I hear that we're going to continue as we are, and anyone who wants to Zoom in is, you can do that. So, but for me, it's making sure our staff is protected and is safe and well. Councilmember Gustafson.
Madam Mayor, with what's been going on and what I've been watching happening with the Department of Health and that, I will be Zooming until things get better. So this will be the last time I hand out candy for a while here at the.
They got a full-size
Yeah.
candy bar.
Candy man.
It'll be a while.
Okay. Councilmember Schultz.
And I appreciate that, and no one should feel any pressure to either be here in person or either be home. That's, being able to make that decision and having that flexibility is extremely important, and things could change in each person's life, and then they need to adapt to that and be responsible about that. And I think we're all on board with that. There is one thing I would like to say about our younger residents. We're hearing a lot about our younger adult residents, like ages 18 to 25. And right now, a lot of they've been singled out quite a bit. They're being singled out at different levels of government. They're being singled out on social media, in regular media, and they're being called unkind things. They're being termed as selfish. They're being shamed. They're having things targeted towards them. And our mayor talks about us being kind, and we are. We are in this city. And I just want to remind people to be kind and give each other extra grace. This age group, this 18 to 25-year-old age group, usually 3.4% of them have suicidal ideation. Right now, in the last 30 days, 37% of them have thought about killing themselves. 41 of them are now working from home, and they're the only person in their apartment. And they've been doing that week after week, month after month. 28% of them have had pay cuts, and 26 have been laid off. So I just want them to know that from our city's point of view, we know that you're struggling and that you are responsible, good, and valued residents. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay, Councilmember Keely.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A question for City Manager Lee. Have we ever had mutual aid snow plowing with our cities around us? You know, we border with Apple Valley and Lakeville and Savage, and I wonder if we were to get into circumstances where, and if they were to get into circumstances where they were short drivers and needed a little mutual aid for us to continue plowing, you know, into a certain zone, or they continue plowing, so we can sort of help each other when there's a snowfall event and if there's a workforce driver shortage. And I know that in the winter, we flex a lot of people into driving plow trucks that might be doing other things during the summer. And so that flexibility has allowed us a lot of flexibility in maintaining, you know, plowing in the middle of the night, plowing the next day, et cetera. But with COVID, if this gets to the point where any city, certainly our border cities or ourselves, loses enough staff to where we are short, is that something that you have had discussions with about our sister cities?
Yeah, Madam Mayor and Council, I'll ask Ryan to chime in here as well. I know our team has been working on, I called it Plan B, C, and D, you know, as we think about snow plowing and contingency. That continuity of operations is important for all of our operations, and so we're taking that very seriously. As far as firm commitments or specific discussions with other cities, I'll have Ryan address that, but I do know we've got great relationships with our peer communities. Even if there's nothing formalized, I would expect that we would be able to call somebody up and ask for help if that becomes the case, and we would reciprocate.
Right, and that might be even the county as a partner too. Right?
Didn't we contract with Ames for a long time for part of our city?
Well, but they're out of that. You're right. We used to have Ames do part of South Burnsville, but we discontinued that a long time ago and brought all of that services in-house. Mr. Peterson.
Good evening. Thanks for the question. We don't have a formal agreement set up for this, but we certainly would be able to assist our neighboring cities and would expect that they would do so for us as well, if necessary. I mean, we have 47 union employees and we need about 30 to do a plow. So we can have a fair amount of people out as if necessary. We also have some talented people who are non-union employees who can fill into those trucks. So there is internal backups that we would try to go through because, you know, you're trying not to impact someone else's ability to plow their streets. But, you know, if times really got tough, we would be able to assist, and vice versa. They would likely be able to come here if necessary. You might have to wait a day.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It might be the second round, or maybe they'd be willing to go up and down our main roads. But eventually we would get to it. And you know, and just some of the things that we've put in place, we're still operating out of several different facilities as opposed to having all of our 45, 50 people out at the one place. We're utilizing our old garage, so our sidewalk plows are located there now, so those people are split up from our main group. We still have parks employees out at Alamagnet. We're also underneath the parking deck or parking garage in the heart of the city, so we're utilizing these different facilities and places to go to. And then, you know, if you're a utility employee, you're basically getting your truck and go. We're very much avoiding the situations where we're congregating. So we're taking it very seriously. That being said, I can't guarantee that we wouldn't get in a situation like that. But we got a lot of things in place to prevent exposures and so that we are able to provide the service. But we do have other people who are available within the city to be able to operate some of these. I mean, not all of us can jump in a big tandem truck, but I would fully expect that we would be able to operate those here at the city. And then we may have to backfill with other resources as necessary if we got to that point.
Yeah, and I have to thank Mr. Peterson because I remember getting an email from a Lakeville resident down in South Burnsville south of Crystal Lake, where it come together, and that we plowed for Lakeville because they didn't get there. And I
We,
think I copied you on when they were complimenting you and the crew, and thanked them for acknowledging that, because they saw it was a Burnsville truck.
yes.
So,
On the south side of Crystal Lake is an interesting situation about having to go into Lakeville to go around. We recently terminated our agreement where they would plow for us because they keep expanding and didn't want to take that on anymore, but we've been able to handle that. But yes, I appreciate all the positive comments.
great. Yeah, and I think what would happen if we had a deficit of people, as Mr. Peterson said, our residents would just have to be patient, because the other cities, they're gonna plow their roads first. And when they have time, they'll come and help us out. But I think it's about patience and being kind throughout this time, that we will help each other out, but at the same time, they're gonna take care of their residents and their streets first.
One follow-up, I think the most important thing is sidewalks, because we have a lot of folks in wheelchairs or walkers, and their ability to get out is whether that sidewalk is cleared or not. That's their decision, whether they can leave the house and go anywhere. And so that's the one area that I believe that we have to always be cognizant of, that we have enabled people that utilize those sidewalks and that depend on them.
And remember, we did tell staff that we do have, we brought that service in-house. Correct, Mr. Peterson?
Yep.
Yes, and so we will do that, and it was done very well.
It's been much better since we started
Yeah,
doing it.
that, since we took it over, so. And I know because I went walking when it was like 39, but I had to get out. And the sidewalks were plowed on the parkway, that wide width. So all the way down to Parkwood.
Excellent. Yeah, that's our goal. And once things get a little colder and the grass around the sidewalks gets a little more firm, we'll be out the next major snow, making sure we get our entire system done.
Okay.
But if it,
Councilmember Workman.
I just had a thought. I want to rewind back to the intent of the discussion. If the individual commissions want to decide amongst themselves whether they'll be here or virtually, I would leave that up to them as well.
Absolutely.
So again, what Councilmember Schultz said, there should be no shame in
Exactly.
distance or coming in, but I would like them to make that decision as they see fit.
Absolutely.
Well, that's part of what we said. Our expectation is that we practice being kind and respectful. And I'm going to make sure that we hear that often. That's one of our values. And we also said that we will be adaptable. And so we'll do that as well. Okay, so we're going to continue as is until something else comes up and you let us know, Ms. Mescoli, and then we'll take the information and we may pivot and make a different decision.
Yeah, appreciate the feedback, Madam Mayor and Council, and we will stay in touch on this as it continues. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Members of the council and the public, there are no other items to come before us this evening, and a motion to adjourn is in order.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
There is a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Gustafson, second by Councilmember Keeley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Good night, and thank you for being with us.